Hello and welcome to episode number 11 of our Shenmue the Animation After Show. This episode is called Entangled, and I'm your host, and with me, like always, is Barry.
Let's get entangled. Let's do it.
You almost thought I was gonna forget that, right? Like the whole
No, of course not.
Of course not. So, what was your overall impressions with this episode? This episode actually had a lot of content and a lot of storylines they tried to merge together. So, like, what was your opinion on like the tournament, the Shu Ying Hong being like they added more character to Joy, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I almost called her Joey. But yeah.
Joey. Yeah, Joey Lawrence.
Yeah. So what was your overall thoughts?
Shenmue's back, man. Shenmue's back. After the 4 Wudu lull, this was what I was hoping to see from the anime with the Shenmue 2 adaptation, and it does not disappoint. They crammed a lot into this episode, and there's some fun little nods to Shenmue 1 as well as additional content, or Shenmue 3, I should say, as well as additional content for characters. So yeah, overall, really liked it.
So I think my only disappointment is that like everything's moving so fast, and I think that's been our issue since the beginning. Because it's kind of funny that we're like literally the total opposite, right? Like when we first heard the news, we're like, "There's not enough story to do an anime. What are we doing here?" And then when you actually watch the anime, you're like, "Actually, that was pretty cool the way this character got expanded. I wish they did this more." So we'll talk about it. There's some more expansions here. So the first, let me get to the images. The first one is we started off the story with Shu Ying Hong fighting Dao Niu, the Yellowhead people. They obviously kidnapped. Who did they kidnap? I forgot his name now. Oh yeah, wait, do I have him on here? Oh yeah, Yandu Zhu, the guy you've been looking for. All these names sometimes like. They have so many old people in this with the Chinese names that you're like, okay, this guy or was it this other guy that was the Chinese guy? But so yeah, they kidnap him, which is part of the plot of the game, and Ryu just gets like knocked out again, which is another trope I dislike a lot, and I wish they would have like figured out a way to like, you know, like maybe Ryu wasn't there, but I'm tired of the whole like, oh, he just got knocked out trope, right?
Yeah.
And then when he wakes up in the church, or I don't know what it looks like a church, but it's like a temple, right? It is a church actually, because there was a nun. So she tells him about her brother and the vengeance thing, and then he just goes, "All right, I'm out of here, bye." I was like, that made me laugh in the episode. And then they go more into it, I guess, and it was like I forgot. Oh, he finds out. This is the thing that he finds out that Shu Ying Hong has been like helping him in the background, and like realizes it. And I'm wondering, that wasn't part of the game, right? Like she wasn't protecting you or anything in the shadows.
No, I don't recall. I mean, we saw that also with Shenmue 1, where characters were just a lot more involved in the story and helping Ryo. So I would imagine it's something new here too. It does not ring a bell, but maybe we'll be corrected in the comments below.
Oh yeah, and I think her name means like in the shadow or something, which I thought was like, if it didn't really actually like happen or something, it's funny that she was helping him from the shadow, which is like part of her name and that you know what it means. But yeah, that was I thought it was like a little cool little nod, because it means that the characters are doing more than you think, you know, because in Shenmue they just feel like they're just, hey, hi, how's it going? I'm hanging out in this front of this building for no reason. The next one, because you've been talking about Yuan and Do Niu and their relationship. They have a little more banter here. Basically, they kind of stuck with the video game adaptation 100%, where Dao Niu is an idiot, big fat moron, basically, that I don't like thinking, and then Yuan does all the thinking and all the work for him, and I guess he just eats and looks really big and scary. What was your thought on this? Like, you have any other thoughts on these two characters?
I see what Yuan sees in him. I mean, he's cute. Big dumb guy.
He also is like more adorable in the anime, because like he was like even more ugly in the game. I think all characters are a little more like they gave them a little more cute factor to them because they're anime.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure did.
So this guy, the blind guy, Kai, he's the fiddle player in the video game when you start Shenmue 2. The whole idea that he like, oh, I'm a master too. It was supposed to be a surprise when you find him. But in the anime, they kind of skipped all that, right? Like he might have been in the background, I'm not sure, but like he wasn't an actual character, right? Like they didn't do the whole fiddle scene or anything, which was like your first exposure to Chinese culture in the video game, really, if you think about it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't do it here, but yet they still try to make it like a big surprise that he's the master, I guess. Like you're supposed to know who Kai is, but they never introduced them in the anime before. Yeah, right. What do you think about that? Was that like a letdown or what?
I mean, we talked about that with the boat. We were hoping that there would just be a little bit of time spent on the boat over maybe not adapting the whole mini comic with Chai appearing, but at the very least having him step off and talk to some people and spend a little time. But, you know, they really changed up that whole sequence.
Yeah, they did. And it's weird that they still try to do the payoff. Like, did they need to add Kai really here in the middle? Like, I feel like he could have been a skipped character, and then we could have had more of the tournament, because I'll talk about it a little bit now that we're well, first of all, let's talk about Joy. So Joy got more characterization, like her mother died, right? And like in the video game, I looked up her Wikipedia, no mention of a mother or anything. I think they did mention that her dad was a businessman, and that's why all the businesses there know her, because her dad used to be an influential businessman in that area.
He was an influencer.
He had a really sick Twitter account where he posted memes.
Yeah.
So they blew him up, obviously, in this, right? Didn't he die? Like, he got blown up? And in the anime, they didn't even really... I mean, in the game, they didn't really talk about it. So what do you think about it adding more death? Like, I feel like every character we're going to meet now is like, my dad died.
I think that's kind of a common theme now with every single character that he's encountered. I don't have a daddy.
I'm gonna help you because my dad died too.
Right.
I mean, like, how many people in your life have you met that like their father died and then all of a sudden they're on the quest for vengeance? Probably 90% of the people you know, I'm assuming, right?
Probably most of them, yeah. Almost all of them.
I didn't want to be like stereotypical, but I figured like I'm actually lowballing it at this point. It's probably 100%. We got this character. I have his name around here. Okay. Yuan Dong. I can't even say his name, but this guy with the bull hat, bowling hat, is that what the thing's called? It looks like a
bowler hat.
Bowler hat, there you go. So this guy is like the guy that runs the tournaments in the game. He's also in the game, I mean in the video game and in the anime, as you can see the differences here on the screen if you're watching it. And he gives you a picture of fighters you're supposed to be taking out so you could get, I guess, into the Yellowhead building. And the thing is, in the anime, they skipped two of the fighters. We only got Greg Moore, the American guy with the cool... one thing I love about Sega Game 2 is how they pictured American gangsters. It's like, they look like porn thugs, you know what I mean? It's like...
Porn thugs, that's a new word.
Yeah, porn thugs. That should actually be our YouTube channel, but... just like the way they... Like, I don't know, like... They look like something out of, like, obviously the 80s, but it's like, I don't know, it's just so weird the way they design these characters. What do you think about the whole tournament arc? And, like, because, like, to me, one of my favorite things about animes usually, and I know this is weird, is tournament arcs. Like, since I was a kid and I watched Dragon Ball Z or, like, Dragon Ball, my favorite were always the tournament, because you get it reminds me of, like, Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, where you get kind of to know these characters a little bit, and they get, like... It's almost like a fighting game, right? Tournament, and then like Street Fighter or whatever. And I really like when they extend it and they like flesh out all the fighters, and you actually are like, oh, this is a cool fighter. I wish he wins, but you know he ain't gonna win. In this one, it was just like quick, right? It's like Greg Moore, pow, he got punched. This guy, he got punched, and then we moved on, right? Like, that's my little disappointment. It's like, you could almost make a 100-episode anime series if you really wanted to, and like flesh out all these characters and like write new content for them. But 13 episodes, it is what it is. But what was your whole opinion on the tournament?
I thought it was fun. I think they could have done another episode. Again, going back to the Wood.
Yeah, I got 4.
That could have been 2, and this could have been 2. I think that would have been fun because then we get these little like 2-parter arcs.
Because we didn't feel any danger in the tournament. It wasn't like there was a fighter where it's like, this fighter fights dirty, and like Ryu was like, I don't want to go against him, and they hype it all up until the end, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I added this picture just because if you look at the back of the photo, it says Sega Color. And, you know, Sega used to actually do photo printing machines back in the day, and that's how they became popular. Thought it was a cool little nod in the anime. They added little detail. And that's actually my favorite bit about the anime is how much little detail they go into. So, very cool. Nothing else to add, just saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, this character, Master Baihu. This is the weirdest character. Like, when I got into the Shenmue anime fandom, this character was talked about a lot, and they never bring him back. There was, like, so many theories I used to read back in the day when I was younger, like, about how the reason he looks like this is because he's a different species and all this. In the anime, they made it seem like it's a mask, right? Like, the design is more mask-like than it is, like, paint. Because in the video game, he looks like he's just painted silver with a golden mask, right?
He does, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
But in here, he didn't even, so far, hasn't even had, like, an actual line. But I don't know if they even need him. Like, there's so many masters that I've noticed, like, when I was watching the anime. How many masters have we met? Like, 6?
Well, I think going back to, you know, when you're going around finding people who are seeking vengeance for their father's murder, I think there's more masters that Rio encounters than people seeking vengeance for their father's murder. Or people who are too weak to seek vengeance and they want to help Rio because they never sought vengeance. But yeah, this guy, I always felt like he kind of reminded me of like a character design that they scrapped. Like, oh, this was originally Lan Di's character design, but we scrapped it, but then we reused it later. You know, like
we couldn't design anything. Yeah, like
right. He seems so out of place that's almost like, was he from something else? And they were just like, let's use him. He's cool.
Is this something to do with China? Like, I never understood. He kind of reminds me, like, design-wise, like
right.
That character from Street Fighter, the Mexican guy that's like, it looks like a Native American. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, that big tall guy, I don't know if you, T-Hawk from 2. It's just like this weird, like, headdress and stuff. It's just like, I don't know, he just doesn't fit in. Also, I don't know, I'm from Mexico. I've never seen anyone that looks like T-Hawk before, but whatever, I guess that's what it is over there.
Yeah.
There is a part, okay, so Wang got a story. I kind of wish they would just cut all the Wong stuff out, but there's just one part where he's just like listening to thugs and they're like, we're gonna go after that Japanese boy in the middle of the mall, right? And then he's like listening and he's and Rin, and then he goes and then the guy turns around, he goes, oh my god, they've been listening to us the whole time. This is one of the things I did not like about this episode. I was like, I just rolled my eyes so hard. I'm like, we can't be doing the eavesdrop bullshit. Like, I get it, it's a cheesy anime, but what do you think about this part? I thought it was, I was laughing, so maybe I did like it.
I think when Wong ran away, there should have been like bongos, like, wait, you know, and like, get that kid. And then there should have been like a sequence where they're going through different doors in the same hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And like music would be playing. And then when they finally catch him, we got you, you kid. Oh, no. You know, that would have been cool. But disappointment. Biggest disappointment of the episode is like no Scooby-Doo chase. That would have been fun.
And I didn't put it on here, but like in the end, when you finally beat the people in the picture, that one guy with the bowling hat opens the door in the back, right? And he lets you in, and then Ren just like beats the crap out of him, and then he's like, "Give me information." I forgot what it was, like where's the holding cells or something like that. And he like pulls out a knife on him. I was like, I'm okay with that. I mean, I just thought it was cool because Ren hasn't really had a big scene, you know. Like in the anime, I feel like they actually kind of like gave him way too much of a back burner. I don't know. Do you think he made more of an impression in the anime or in the game? Because I feel like in the game he made a bigger impression.
In the game, for sure, much larger impression. Yeah.
Any closing statements you want to say about this episode of Shenmue before I close it up?
I have nothing to apologize for. Nothing to be corrected for the next episode, and
I hope not.
Anything people think they can correct me on, they're wrong. That's my statement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Two more, right? 2 more eps?
Yeah, 2 more episodes and it's over. And then we could say what we think about the whole thing finally, when it's over.
Do you think he'll turn Super Rio in the last episode? He'll collect all of the dragon mirrors and
I think
float around?
I think they should tease it for like the next season. Like in the end, he's like, "You're making me angry," and he's about to power up, and it's like season 2.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You're an alien.
I'm there for that. Yeah.
You're an alien from space. Anyway, that's it for our episode or after show of Shenmue the animation, episode number 11. What did you guys think about it? And do you guys really like the Wang scenes where he's just eavesdropping on people? Do you guys like Master Bei Hu? What do you guys think about Do Yu and Xinying Hong? Like, her action scenes were, I guess, pretty cool, but I kind of wish she had more character in the anime. But let us know what you guys think. Bye.